Okay, guys, so I'm moving along to the next part of the project on this, repairing this boat. But I wanted to show you something. I wanted to do a test because I have never used Rust-Oleum paint. Okay, I mean, I've used it to paint, barbecue pits and, lawn chairs and that kind of crap, but I've never used it as an industrial paint where it's going to be on a vehicle that I own or something. I've never used it, okay? And one of the things you're going to have to do when you use this, my lens is fogging up, guys. Hang on, let me clean my lens here. There. One of the things you're going to have to do before you start using this paint is you're going to have to read the instructions, okay? I've heard a lot of bad things about Rust-Oleum paint, and I talked to the manufacturer. I said I was going to call the manufacturer. I did. I talked to them. They don't recommend this type of paint for below the water line. He did, however, say that preparation is critical when applying this type of paint, especially on marine application. He said that there are people that do use this paint for trailer boats, which is what I have. I have a trailer boat, one that's not going to continually be in the water. And he said they've had really good results. He said he had other people on that put it on in one day it peels off, okay? Well, this is a particular paint. You're not supposed to add hardener to this paint. You're not supposed to reduce this paint with lacquer thinner or mineral spirits or anything like that. You have to use what the manufacturer recommends for this paint, and the manufacturer recommends acetone to reduce this paint, and you can only use up to 15% reducer. You can only reduce this 15%, and then you have to use your, put it on with the paint sprayer, roller, whatever technique, brush, whatever you're going to use. I like to use a spray painter. Okay, that's my preferred method. I think you get a lot cleaner job, you get a lot better application by doing that, and you save a lot of paint. But I wanted to show you, this is one of those situations, this is just a test. I wanted to check the tack time on this paint. I wanted to see how long. This has been on there for about 20 minutes, and it's already tacked. It's not tacking, it's not coming off on my finger very much. It's about 20 minutes it's been since I sprayed it. But I wanted to check the tack time on this because I did add hardener. He said you can add hardener. The problem is that when you add hardener, it's going to double or triple the tack time, which means it's the dry time of the paint. Whenever you touch the paint and it's dry to the touch and you can handle it. So triple the dry time. The tack time for this paint is typically about 2 to 3 hours. Okay, that's just normal 15% reducer. Apply the paint, and then you wait 3 hours for this thing to be dry enough for you to touch it. Okay, that's a lot of time. It really is. It doesn't take that much time for polyurethane or regular enamels or stuff like that. But so this is just a test. But I wanted to show you how easy it is to screw up a paint job. Okay, and not using the proper equipment, you can easily screw up a paint job. Now, I have a paint sprayer here. It's a 60-gallon stand-up. As you can see, I got a dryer. I have a dryer there. And then I have a water catcher, oil catcher deal right there. But the things that you don't think about is you're going to have stuff go through that hose. Okay, you're going to have oil go through that hose. You're going to have water go through that hose. And normally what I do is, right now that dryer is not hooked up. I have a separate hose that I use when I'm doing serious paint work. Okay, I don't use the one that I use when I'm doing sanding and all that crap, because that hose gets full of oil. Okay, it gets full of oil from the compressor, and it'll cause your paint to just do all kinds of crazy stuff, man. So I didn't use the paint hose that I should have used to attached to my paint sprayer. Okay, I just used a regular hose that I used to sand it and everything else. So it had all the oil, and I did clean out my trap, my water trap. Okay, I cleaned that out real good with thinner and everything, cleaned it all out. But guess what? Because I didn't change that hose, this was the effect. Let me see if I can get you to see this. I can't see it in the. Anyway, this is called fisheye. If you can see that, or yeah, you can see it. Okay, this is called fisheye, okay? And what happens is oil, how would I put it? Disperses, or doesn't vaporize, but it, I want to say, explodes in the paint, with the paint. Okay, as the paint goes through the gun, as the air goes into the gun, and the paint comes and mixes with the air and comes out of the nozzle, it mixes with that oil, and it causes this effect right here. Okay, now as time went on, it quit doing it. Okay, I don't have fisheye all over, but this is where I first applied the paint, right here, and this is where I first applied the paint, and you can see what happens, okay, when you don't use the proper equipment. Spray painting is easy to do, but it's like air conditioning work. It's really simple, but it is very unforgiving, okay? It's unforgiving. And luckily, I'm just testing this, okay? This is just a single coat, single pass with my paint sprayer. I wanted to check the tack time because I did add hardener, because I want to use a hardener. I want to use a hard finish on this thing if I can, because I'm painting it outside, and I'm going to have crap falling and bugs flying around and everything else that I really don't want walking through my paint job. So this is just a test. We'll see how long it takes to tack. If it takes too long, then I won't be able to use a hardener. I'll just have to use the regular enamel that they supply. So the hardness of the enamel that they manufacture. I was hoping to add a hardener. Definitely going to add a hardener with my polyurethane when I put the color on it. That's a different type of paint. That's a polyurethane paint, and it will have a hardener in it. So it's going to be fine. But this is the first time I've used this kind of paint. This is a Rust-Oleum performance or industrial performance paint. Supposed to be a really good paint, and it really applies real well. I mean, it goes on good. It's an even coat. I'm happy with it. It's a little hard to work with. It takes quite a bit of material to clean your spray gun. Basically, it's hard to work with, but I'm happy with it. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you guys and let you see what's going on, what I have planned. I did not apply epoxy primer to this. Okay, this is just the enamel on here. I didn't put any epoxy on this fiberglass cowling. I didn't put any epoxy primer. I'm going to have to put epoxy primer on the lower unit. I don't have a choice there, but I'm trying to do this as cheaply as possible, guys, because that epoxy primer is $70 a quart. $70 a quart just for the primer. That does not include the epoxy that goes with it, or the thinner that you have to thin it with. Okay, that's just the epoxy. So it's expensive. Well, that's really good, but nevertheless, I've got to epoxy the lower unit, and every place on the boat that's going to be below the water line has to have this epoxy. I don't have a choice. Any bit of this boat that's going to be in the water has got to have the epoxy primer sealer applied before I can put the other paint on it. And I'm going to try this paint. I'm going to try it. What do I have to lose? What the hell do I have to lose, right? So anyway, I'm just rambling on now. I wanted to share that with you guys, and it's going to look really nice. It's going to look like new. It's going to look brand new, like a brand new damn boat when I'm done with it. You won't recognize it, but the thing about painting too, guys, is you have to have patience. You must have patience. I will not jack. This has to be sanded down again. This has to be completely sanded down. I'm going to take all the tape off of it, sand it down, and start over. Retape it and repaint it. Okay. Next time I'm going to use the proper equipment next time. This was just a test, but had I not had that fisheye, then I could have just gone back and applied another coat and been done with it. Yeah. So, all right, that's where I'm at, guys. Everybody have a great day, and one step at a time on this stupid thing. We'll holler at you later. Bye.